Alibaba is a Chinese e-commerce company that provides consumer-to-consumer, business-to-consumer and business-to-business sales services via web portals.
Right, so this is the dominant retailer in China. Although it has many other parts to its business, it's best known for being the place where businesses buy stuff from each other and where retail customers buy stuff. So it's the online giant, the online retail giant in China. And remember, that market remains protected by the Chinese government.
Market cap $193.1 billion, trades on a PE of 17.6 and pays no dividends. That's obviously going to be the trend with these high growth companies. You're not going to see dividends being given back to shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not yet, because again, I mean, I think they're capturing market share. The same with Amazon. I mean, when Amazon decides to pay dividends, they're going to be enormous and it's going to be fantastic. But yeah, Alibaba obviously also a fairly recent.
Spoken like somebody who's been holding Amazon for 6 years.
Yeah, but Alibaba, looking at Alibaba, fairly recent listing as well. So the share price performance hasn't actually been that good since its IPO in the US. But again, another very exciting online retail company. I mean, they've got for me, these companies, it's really about how many eyeballs that they've got. And I mean, these guys, it's 410 million monthly active users on their mobile app. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, to speak to that kind of audience and to cross-sell new products into, it's fantastic.
Let's put that share price up again.
Yeah, so it listed, but remember, it listed in New York via a Cayman Island subsidiary, which sort of more or less has the rights to its profits in China. So it came out at around $90, started trading, went to 120, then has fallen back as low as 60 and is now at 80.
But isn't this then, if you believe in this space, you believe in the Chinese consumer ultimately conquering the world, isn't this the buy of the century?
Look, the problem here is that, first of all, it's very strong in its local market, and it also has Alipay, which people use to buy things. It owns a thing called Ant Financial, which has gone out of nowhere in 4 years and has become a major player and retailer of loans and deposits and insurance. Incredibly strong business, great management, Jack Ma. But the problem is Chinese government, so it hasn't really gone outside of China much.
But ultimately that could change.
Like now,
probably will change.
When Hillary Clinton is the president of America, she's not going to mess with Amazon's business. You're not going to wake up and read your online pad one day and found that she's decided to, regulate their profits. But that could happen in China. That's the concern. It's just a little bit less.
I take it that neither of you are invested in Alibaba.
I am actually.
You are.
I bought $10,000, which is, I don't know how much is that these days, about 150,000 rands worth of Alibaba stock on the day of listing. So I first went up and now I'm down. So it's not really, I'm not winning on this one.
Gary, your side of the equation?
We don't hold it. But I still think it's not a bad one probably to look to accumulate here. I mean, you remember the initial reaction also to Facebook's listing. The first year wasn't fantastic for the stock price, but as it sort of found its feet, it's got a long way to go. I mean, you mentioned expansion offshore. I mean, okay, so 76% of its revenue is coming from China at the moment, but they are actively pushing into India, which is another fantastic growth
with the Chinese
emerging
consumer, the size of that population, do you really need an outside market? I mean, that's what you have to ask.
Yeah, definitely not.
I think do you need an outside market?
Probably not. I mean, they invented that thing called Singles Day, which is in November the 1st, but it's because those little ones all look like 1/11 and so on. Singles Day in China is where people give themselves presents. That's the idea they came up with. So, like, you got no one to buy you presents.
The opposite of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. It's the anti-Valentine's Day. $9 billion worth of sales. It goes off the charts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you need to go outside of China if you've got that population size?
I don't think you need to, but there's no reason not to. Because remember, these are very different from a brick and mortar retailer. You can export your business model very, very easily at a far lower cost than going and opening up stores in India. So
agreed. No reason not to go outside China, but it's not necessary.
You don't have to. Definitely you don't have to. But I think they will, because why just have China when you can have the world?
Buy some Alibaba. Do you want to add more before we go hot or not on this one?
No, it just delivers like 65% of all the parcels in China. It's a very integrated model. It was born on the mobile phone. As I said before, Jack Ma, which is the sort of executive chairman, is tremendous. So I think it's going to continue to do well.
I'm giving it a hot.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going hot on this one. Are you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, also got to be hot.
Are you hot, Paul?
Yep, for sure.